But speaking of horrible, terrible jokes, it's these guys.
Yay!
These assholes.
I am no longer a vapor.
That's the main party.
That you're aware of. So yeah, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where, the party may be average.
But everybody is a vapor! Ah!
We're all dead now?
Hey, that's spoilers for the next season after your characters have all died and come back as ghosts.
My bad.
Well, now I'm just going to have to change all my notes. I hope you're happy, Mike.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
So, how you doing?
You cursed us twice.
As per my previous email, I did not curse you any times. You two, you four, thought it would be a great idea to kill a hag, see a curse, and then kill another hag, making said curse worse.
Yes.
And there's the episode title, Curse Worse.
There's the rub.
He said the Z word. What's the Z word? If you don't know it, you don't want to hear it.
So, what happened, you guys?
Well, like always, everything went flawlessly and according to plan.
You know, for once, I'm not going to stop you. It actually kind of did.
Well, I mean,
Whose plan?
climbing the tree worked out very well for Philomena.
I went from
things happen.
from a vapor to a zombie.
Well, no, she's been complaining about us calling her a vapor the entire time.
Well, maybe if you stopped vaping all the time.
And so the GM, in his utter kindness, decided to step in and help the struggles that the player has been having about being called a vapor. So
Just for the record, I want some character artwork of Philomena with the, we can put it on a shirt with the "We get it, you vape."
vaping ain't easy.
So,
Okay.
Philomena lost some of her ghostliness.
Tracked down our friendly neighborhood hag,
Mm-hmm.
who was friendly and neighborly.
And-
She helped us with our sleeping
Yeah,
problems.
she helped us get to sleep, and then...
And this bitch ripped a book apart, and Thea's would murder her if she were already dead.
Yeah, so, it's very optimistic of you to think it was just one book.
No, I know it was more than one book.
They're all over in the mud.
This bitch.
And then Iocus was very helpful with her headache problem by removing the headache.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody was helpful and friendly.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened after you ripped her head off?
No.
I don't think it's important.
Yeah, no. Nothing followed that.
I think you can forget about anything that you said at that point. I think it just doesn't
Happily
really...
ever after,
Not
Yeah.
important.
Haggily ever after.
So, as one does when killing hags and doing an incomplete job of it, you guys got a second part to your curse.
If they weren't so fucking spread out, it wouldn't be incomplete now, would it?
Exactly. It's not like they're all partying together for some reason.
Yeah, how dare they want to live their life their way and not be killed by random strangers?
Or
And
maybe
one
if
of
they...
them was causing problems.
Yeah, maybe if they stopped causing problems.
A problem for you is not necessarily a problem for them.
Well, I think scientific study shows that Iocus and party have made it their problem. Our problems are now their problems.
This is true.
So I'll just recap what she said in case you guys have forgotten. Which is your soul will freeze and your heart will harden before the rise of the next sun. My sister will display you as lessons to others.
Well, then it's a good thing that there's only one son. Checkmate, bitch!
So to that end, you guys go ahead and reset your dice to 5. 5 is now your new minimum on the curse die.
Well, it's a good thing we never triggered it with 3.
Yes,
Oh, wait.
good thing.
And since I have a son, we'll just knock him out. If we kill him, he doesn't rise again, so we're safe, right?
Yeah, though we kind of need them.
Okay, I guess
That
we'll
whole
go with
uniting
plan B.
the centaurs thing.
Yeah.
And you have to have a heart for it to harden. I guess.
I was nice to you.
Hey,
That was nice to you. Someone said you eat shit sandwiches. I said no, she doesn't. She doesn't eat bread.
So, funny story about that. What with having a corporeal form now,
I have to eat.
you have an anatomy.
Oh, I have an anatomy.
Now,
Just one?
I mean, I'd be concerned if you had two.
Just making
I
sure.
suppose you could pick up that hag's corpse and have two. If you really...
Look at me! I'm your dad's sister. You want to do anything with me? Ooh.
No, she was kind of already doing that before. So,
Yeah, she.
we'll pick up. Iocus was the only one able to move,
Yes.
thanks to Calaise, who is still laying on her side. And we'll say Philomena is probably the first one to wake up. Did you dream at all?
No.
No, it's just like 1 second you're there,
Yep.
next the lights shut off.
Yep.
I'm coming for you, Elizabeth. No, I'm back.
Sure, the light wasn't red.
Neville, you wake up and you have the foggiest dreams of having been fondled in your sleep.
I feel violated.
Thea, you wake up and your alarm is going off.
What? What's going on? What's going on? And-
Your bag is upside down and books and papers are all over the place.
So,
She's She just like goes diving for the book, starts pulling them out and trying to dry them off and just like wailing.
Uh-oh, you made the dogs bark.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I set off the dog alarm.
It happens.
well, you did cast alarm.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so those how recently have those books been thrown into the water?
They're soaked through.
They're soaked through, but I think Neville will still try to once he wakes up and realizes what's going on. Since his devil is all about destroying knowledge, and he doesn't want to feed his devil at all, he's going to dive into the marsh and try to get the water, try to get what he can from for Thea's books.
Yeah, between the two of you, you're able to gather everything up. Thea, just a quick flip through some of these pages. There have been pages ripped out of at least one of these books.
Yeah, she's still like bawling. She's gonna walk over to the corpse, gonna kick it a couple times, and maybe the pages fall out of the pocket.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I found him. It's still wailing.
Yeah, now they're just covered in blood.
Yeah.
Neville's going to, I imagine he probably can't save a whole lot, but he's still going to try to, set a fire and dry some of the pages out.
Thea
As
wants
we're-
to try to cast precipitation ritually to get some of this gunk off.
Yeah. So, first thing that happens is they start scrambling about for books and pages.
Guys, I killed the hag.
I know, we see his dead body,
Thank you.
we can't let my devil patron get too powerful.
Good point. But we're also on a time limit.
Do you know how rare these things are?
No, I don't.
I'm pretty sure since we killed a second hag, something bad happened.
I mean, besides the books?
Yes.
Might have cursed us again with her dying breath.
When Thea shouts out, you all can see her breath.
Oh, that's not good.
You can see Neville's breath too.
I'm gonna like reach out to Neville and like pop his forehead. Like, is he still unreasonably warm?
No, he is starting to go cold.
That's not good.
They did say we'd freeze over by the next dawn, and something about our hearts hardening and this. So, time limit.
Yeah, you can see Iocus's breath now.
Uh-oh. Do we know where the rest of the hags are? We don't know how many there are. She said, wait, what did she say? All of it. What was the last bit she said?
The next dawn.
Did she say anything about her sister or sisters?
She said her sister. So one.
Maybe only one left, but we don't know where she is.
Calaise stands up and looks down and goes, well, this outfit is ruined.
You weren't wearing anything, were you? Well, you had
That's
like a
not
belt on.
That's not the point.
That's okay.
Neville throws up his other arms and says, "This is how we were made. We should all be free. Except for Philomena, she's bound to her armor."
Not for long.
Remember, that's a bad thing.
I mean, I know this.
Calaise just like takes her hair out of the ponytail and just starts wringing this gunky water out of it.
Yep.
Wonderful.
She's just gonna shove the books into her bag and she'll mess with them later.
So, at the very least, I think we need to get away from the water. Because if it freezes, either our feet are going to be frozen or we're going to be walking on ice.
Hey, did you guys know that Philomena breathes? Because you can see her breath now.
Hey, you breathe. It's getting worse.
So?
Iocus would like to, whether it's gather information or I don't know how we'd call it, but I'd like to see if I can recognize any pattern between the two hags, like what might point us in. I'm trying to gather enough clues to point us in a direction.
Yeah, triangulate the hags.
I'm not sure what that would look like. Probably a wisdom check or a tracking check or something like that.
Within the curse that you heard her say, did she happen to say anything like when she said her sister? Did she say anything about her sister?
That she kill us?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Nothing else.
There was adrenaline. I had just...
Calaise, did you happen to hear the curse?
Yes.
What did she say about the sister portion?
That she would put us on display.
Okay. You know this area pretty well, Iocus. Not the jungle,
No,
but the centaur plains and everything, whatever.
Yeah.
So my question is, where would she put us on display? Is there a spot that we would be on display? Maybe like a high mountain?
Is there a spot? Not that I
No.
recall.
I mean, there was a particularly tall mountain until recently.
Been there, done that.
Exactly.
Nameless wakes up and he's just shivering. You can see his breath. He goes, I had the weirdest dreams.
Did we die in any of them?
Cold.
Did we die in any of your dreams?
You were already dead in my dreams, so
I mean, that's true.
does that count?
That's good.
With the hag dead, is Neville's going to walk over to Nameless and say, "Are you able to communicate at all with any of the nature here now that the hag is dead?" Which, oh yes, your father killed the hag, and that's why we're cold.
While we were asleep?
Yes.
You just couldn't wait for the rest of us, could you?
When have I ever?
I think your mother helped him.
No.
She
Well, at least they're bonding. At which point, Calaise kind of turns a little red and busies herself looking through her packs.
did. Smile.
Nameless reaches out and puts his hand on a tree. He says, "Oh. Hey, yes."
Is he touching the big tree? Well, the little tree.
No, he's just touching one of the gigantic trees.
Is there anything special about that tree, that one with the vines?
Well, it's kind of skinny. And it may have self-confidence.
He walks over to it and puts his hands on it. As far as it says, it's the only one like it.
So it's a good thing we didn't cut it down.
I suppose.
Was the hag
trying to live in it or anything like that?
Not that I can see. And he looks up and down, so I don't think it would support her weight.
As you're talking with the trees in the area,
No, I can actually talk to the whole forest now.
okay.
The jungle. Well,
It is-
for ways.
Is there another hag nearby?
A dead spot in the coverage, as it were.
Not like that. Huh. And Calaise, she sets a hand on Iocus' shoulder. Her eyes roll up in the back of her head. And after a second or two,
I look
they snap.
confusedly.
They snap open. And she points further northwest and says, the air spirits say the disturbance is that way.
I guess we don't want to force it. We should go.
Nameless just looks at you, shakes his head in disappointment,
Right, let's go.
touches a tree, and then just walks through it.
Follow behind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You follow behind, and you step out. Previously, if you recall, you weren't able to hear or smell or see anything. You are immediately assaulted by the sound of rushing water. You just pick up that earthy, wet smell, and while fundamentally you are chilled to the bone, you can tell it is hot and humid, and you start sweating. Off in the distance, you hear bird calls and some creatures moving around.
Much more natural.
You are the tree you've stepped out of is beside a river that's running pretty strong, and Calaise goes, I guess that would be the source of our problems. And when she points, you can see there's a tornado of just this vortex of air that's descending from the clouds to somewhere beyond where you can see. It's downriver.
We should hurry.
Nameless draws his bow. Well, I'm ready. But it's easy for me to get ready. Oh, wait, and he takes his hat from where it's hanging and puts his hat on. Okay, now I'm ready.
Neville stands there in nothing but a loincloth and puts his hands on his hips.
I'm ready.
And then hacks up gunk.
Is he still hacking up gunk?
Not as much. You're still a little congested, but now it's actually coming out, not amber. Just looks like regular run-of-the-mill mucus.
Huzzah.
Progress.
For all you listeners out there, please see the previous episode with Weird Swift Prime and the layer of the mucus.
No.
No, it's not that bad.
It is. Yes, it is.
You're still
No,
coughing
no,
a little
it's
bit, but what you're coughing up looks normal now.
Yeah. It's just clear and
Yeah.
it's just there's leftover gunk in there.
So,
Yeah.
point of order. I am somewhat used to punching things, sometimes kicking it, occasionally biting. How do we kill a tornado?
I think the idea is we just kill whatever is making the tornado.
Simple. I like it.
Where is the thing making the tornado?
Probably right from the source.
So yes, we're going towards the tornado.
Because we're a smart group, right?
We're totally smart.
Nameless looks at Calaise and says, "Remember when I was a young boy, and you showed me the vortexes on the plane, the vortices, and you told me that if I heard a sound like that, I should run away from it." And Calaise nods and he says, The irony of this is not lost on me that you're now telling me to go towards one. She shrugs.
Let's go.
Yeah, timeline. Let's push it.
So it takes you, we'll say, a solid 10 or 15 minutes before you start to see the jungle open up. And beyond the last of the trees, there's this river beside you just drops off a cliff. It's probably a few hundred feet down, but more interesting than that, there is, so from the edges of this cliff, there are just gigantic vines that lead out a few hundred feet, and suspended over this massive ringed waterfall is a piece of the jungle, so land, trees, and everything. It has a stone temple shaped more or less like a ziggurat that is covered in vines as well. The vortex seems to be coming out of the top of that. The side of the temple, it looks like a piece of rocky debris has just punctured it and ripped it open. And all around the temple and on the temple and all over the place, there are all sorts of figures. One or two of them Iocus recognizes as Cyclops. Cyclopes? Cyclopes?
Cyclopses. Cyclopses. I don't know.
Cyclopeans?
Big guys with one eye.
Go on.
Yeah, there's a couple of those.
Don't ever look it in the eye.
Oh my.
Careful,
I took a drink.
careful, they have a deadly yogurt attack.
So, yeah, there's a couple of those. Thea, Sabathiel, just gives you that, like, flipping pages.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets you know that everything over there is undead.
Oh.
And there are hundreds of them.
Oh.
Is there a problem?
Kind
Yeah.
of. You
That's
know, all
that's
those the critters over there?
Uh-huh.
They are undead.
Hey! Could be family.
Could be.
And there's a lot of them.
I think that's very good.
You just want to punch something, don't you?
No. Well, yes, that's always a good thing. But two, if we're tracking down a flux for your armor, creepy temple in the middle of the jungle with lots of undead, seems like a good place to find something that might bind your spirit more firmly.
I have one issue, though.
Just one?
She has holy damage that could hurt me.
Then maybe you stay out of my way.
When Philomena
Well.
points her finger at Thea, both Thea and Iocus, at the very least, see this weird reflection in her hand. Mm-hmm. And when she brings her hand back, you can see that her fingertips are made of ice.
Oh.
So anyways, she can kill me.
Yeah. You're dying already because you're icy. And not just your personality, your finger.
And not just your finger, but actually, there's literal ice on it.
Right, we're moving.
let's see.
So, how do we get to the creepy temple in the middle of the forest? With the creepy undead things?
Are there any trees up near the temple?
Nameless says yes, but they are uncommunicative. Actually, and he points at, just a nearby tree and says that one was too. The one we came out of was about the closest.
Okay.
Well, then I guess we run.
We are doing double time.
Nameless and Calaise look at the the vines that are stretching out and suspending that temple. And Calaise says, I'd rather not.
Rather not what?
That's going to be particularly difficult for us to cross.
Any other suggestions?
Nameless looks at her. She looks at him. We could try to lure them over here while you cross somewhere else.
Okay, I'm down. As long as we get in that temple quick, because we got to get that hag.
As Iocus is talking, Neville, you can actively see the tips of his horns start to turn to ice.
You touch those horns and you're fucking dead. I'll kill you.
A swift breeze comes and snaps off.
Shouldn't have said anything.
No. The tips of his horns and ears are sparkling like ice.
Just the tip.
So I get this feeling that fire would be a bad idea.
That would probably be a bad idea, yes.
So Neville's going to just say, point at Iocus and say,
We don't have long to figure this out. Let's come up with a game plan, and let's lure them over here as soon as possible. We should go ahead and make for another crossing.
Yeah, well, Iocus is going to try and spot out an entrance.
maybe Sabathiel can help us.
Yeah, so if you guys are, let's say, facing the south face of this temple, the southeast is where that chunk is blasted through it. There are vines probably on the southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, so the mid-cardinals. And that hole is definitively large enough for all of you.
To the hole!
Oh, if I had a nickel. So, Calaise and Nameless start kind of talking amongst themselves. And Calaise says, I have an idea. I'm going to imbue all of you with a little bit of spirit energy. It should help you out. And then we're going to draw them over to that side.
It won't cost you anything, will it?
I imagine if we come under attack directly, I will have to stop channeling it.
Okay, just making sure you're not giving us your spirit, because I'd object.
No. I'll ask one of the spirits here to help you.
Does this one include me this time?
As far as I'm aware.
Okay.
You seem to have lost some of the unique features
I know.
that prevented my
I'm
magic from affecting you.
no longer me.
And Nameless says, I'm going to help. I have an idea. He gives Iocus a hug and says, just in case.
Be safe, son.
And he draws his bow and they start walking away.
Hey, Nameless.
Yes.
So I take it this means we're not going to murder him anymore.
He shrugs and says, after the last couple of combats that I've seen him operate in, let's maybe come up with a better plan, just in case.
While he sleeps with a stick.
I think we've determined that even while he sleeps, Iocus is still deadly.
I think Calaise could take him.
So let's go ahead and get going.
So, Nameless and Calaise walk a fair ways around the rim of this waterfall. And Calaise gives you a nod. And Nameless reaches into one of his saddlebags and pulls out a horn and just blows it as loud as he possibly can. And all of the undead basically snap up and either start running that way, or some of them see you and start running your way. So what I'm going to have you guys do is roll me initiative for a skill challenge. Because I know you love these so much. You're hesitant to roll initiative?
Can't fail an initiative roll, right?
Technically.
Steph, why is your face so frowny?
Because I rolled an 18
Nice.
plus the plus 10.
Oh,
Nice.
that looked like a low roll face to me.
You almost got Iocus's minimum.
No. She beat me.
Oh.
Quite a bit.
Oh wow!
So, Steve, what does Neville have?
20.
I imagine he would be faster with no gear bogging him down.
Oh, that's right. Could I have a bonus?
Philomena,
18.
18.
I'm not last.
Hey, he's
Iocus.
19 with one of his lower rolls.
So, we're going to say Thea, then Neville, then Iocus,
I guess no one's going straight for their faces.
and then Philomena.
So, since our bonuses to our rolls are going to be a bit lower, because we only have our level in the background, we don't have any modifiers. We don't have like the Dex mod or anything like that Iocus could do. We just add our level.
Mm-hmm.
So, is the skill challenge going to take that into account for us? Okay, cool.
So,
I was concerned because I know how we roll.
I know how you roll too. So, the goal of this skill challenge is to get through said undead horde and also into the temple with or without casualties.
Your mom's a horde. Sorry, still bitter about the jacket.
And the horns.
I mean nothing about your mom.
and the hat.
My mother was a saint. So anyway, that's the goal. While Calaise and Nameless are helping you guys out, there is an effect in play, which is this fancy escalation die. It's going to start at 6.
Ooh.
While this escalation die is in play, you guys crit on 18 to 20, and it counts as 2 successes. If you trigger any curse effect, or at the end of the round, that die goes down 1.
Boo.
Boo indeed. So that horn blast goes off. All the undead critters snap up and start running in one direction or another. Thea, for the first time in forever, you're ahead of Iocus.
What do?
What do you do?
Are they within a ranged attack?
No,
No. Okay.
but the zombies do. The ones closest to you start jumping on vines and scrabbling towards you. There are easily over 500. The big ones start picking up chunks of things to throw at you.
I just scramble for
This means I have to punch harder.
I'm just standing behind the.
those little halfling legs and just kind of weave through the trees and make yourself a difficult target or something.
Aren't we like standing at the edge of a waterfall,
Yes,
looking at a floating island, essentially?
looking at a floating island, essentially, that is held up by massive vines.
Are the vines wide enough for the little ones to run across?
Yeah,
At the very least.
they're easily feet across.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find one that has the least amount of undead on it, heading towards it.
Mhm.
Can I ready an attack?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Think cinematically how you can say you're attacking as part of your action,
Okay.
but more or less give me the effect that you're wanting.
I want holy fire heading towards these assholes.
All right. So that to me that sounds like a good. I'm doing covering fire type action.
Yeah.
So give me a wisdom.
She
Wisdom
has
check.
no wisdom.
That's true.
That's enough about Iocus.
True.
I rolled another 18,
Very nice.
which would be a total of 22.
That's
So-
a crit.
That is, in fact, a crit.
Thank you, pray to spell dice.
The downside to that is you need to increase your curse die by 2.
I gotta find my 7 on it.
But, so what happens is Thea and Sabathiel basically work as the perfect spotter and sniper combination as you guys are getting ready to cross. The first of these zombies comes running towards you. And as Thea calls out targets, Sabathiel just does these very precise bursts of holy fire
Yes.
and starts popping heads off and lighting trails that only harm those critters. And she opens you up a pretty good path.
As long as Philomena doesn't get in the way.
So next is Neville.
I'm not aiming for you.
So Neville's just going to focus on scurrying across the vines. He is a naked and free gnome. He's going to, as Thea and Sabathiel are laying down covering fire, he's going to just make a break for it and see if he can use some lightning to clear the vine ahead of us.
All right. Sounds like what
That's
would be a
like
great charisma roll. Did you accidentally grab your curse die?
Yeah, I know what was on though, so. Well, that's 2 digits. That's a 19.
Oh my.
That's gonna get around to us. We're gonna roll bad.
Yep, it's all down to you guys.
I
So-
remember our first field challenge. I rolled real well the first time around. The second time around, I rolled bad.
So I'm just imagining that he's just, because fire's probably a real bad idea right now. He's just, he's waiting for lots of the undead to start coming onto our vine, and then he's just going to, fire a lightning bolt through them and just channel it until they basically microwave them with a lightning bolt.
Yep. So the path all the way to the island is clear between Thea and Neville. Iocus, you look up and you see a couple of those undead, the quicker ones, are starting to reach Nameless and Calaise. Nameless has picked up his bow and is just picking them off one at a time. When you look back up, at least 2 of those, I'm not going to call them cyclopes, the giant one-eyed guys, have chunks of temple or rock and are flinging them in your direction.
Alright. Would I be able to reach the Cyclopeans?
Oh yeah, you can get, you're quick enough, you can get to the island.
Alright, I am just gonna book it and launch myself and try and, do a smash on the Cyclops.
I'd say that's a reasonable dexterity check.
A meeting of the minds.
Yes, a meeting of the minds indeed.
You ever smash 2 rotten melons together?
That's Phil. It's a 2. No? Oh, no, that's not combat. So, the will doesn't matter. So, all told, that is 13.
13.
But triggers a curse.
13 does not get it.
I
So
don't think so.
there's a brief flicker in whatever magics Calaise and Nameless are channeling. And you see just this kind of feedback hit them for a second. As Nameless, his firing stops, and several of those critters just pile onto him. You run and do effectively a frog splash onto one of these cyclops, who just grabs you and picks you up over his head and is about to chunk you over the side. So Philomena.
So I would like to attempt a Tarzan swing,
Okay.
feet first, at the Cyclops that has him.
Sure.
Are you going to do Tarzan yell too?
Because I don't want to alert him to me coming.
Finally, someone get it. It's not a sneak attack if you yell sneak attack while you're attacking.
Death from above, bitches!
Oh, it's a 19 on the die. So that would be 23.
So 23 total. So you need to increase your curse die by 1. 2, I'm sorry. It's critical. And Philomena, you are still getting used to being this way full time. You go to phase and that doesn't work, and then you look up, see a vine, cut it, and then just take a running leap off of this cliff. You land both feet first into the Cyclops' eye, and Iocus is probably nimble enough to catch himself as he tumbles to the ground.
You've been spending too much time around me. That was great.
I poked his eye out. It was pretty cool.
When the two of you look up, there are several of these undead creatures who they look very goblinoid, but they're about Philomena's size. They are covered in gore and gunk. And we'll say there's maybe a dozen of them who all open their mouths as wide as possible, and just this pink and purple and black energy just coruscates out of them. And whatever it touches just rots away.
Why is there always gunk in this game?
Because I found out that y'all are particularly squeamish and OCD about being clean, so making sure your characters are filthy all the time is just one of those little triumphs I as a GM get to enjoy.
He says that, but Steve's already got it figured out. Take off all the clothes, it don't matter. Whee!
I mean, Iocus is about halfway there. So.
Yeah.
Just need to get rid of that belt now.
The actual magic item.
You know, it might have helped all the snot and everything if you'd have taken the nose ring out.
Although it would have been lubricated for it.
So, speaking of lubrication, Thea,
Yeah.
there's a moment when Sabathiel starts to fire again, and then he just quickly counter-rotates and pops out of existence as these beams of negative energy just pass right over your head, and then start to target your friends.
Oh no. Let's see here. What do I got? Let's see here. Are these things undead still?
They are, and I forgot. The escalation die is now 4.
Because only Mike fucked up.
Okay. How long does ritual casting take?
A while.
Oh wow. Okay.
Minutes.
I thought so. So Sabathiel has poofed on us.
Yes.
Okay.
He basically got targeted with energy that is exactly his opposite. So, for the moment, he has disapparated.
Okay.
The fuck out.
Yeah, he saved his butt.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't have cool warlock powers if your patron is dead.
That's true. How close are these damn things?
We'll say by this time you and Neville have gotten to the end of the vine, so you're on the island.
Okay.
But there are still, we'll say a solid half of them have went towards Nameless and Calaise, who are fighting them. And the other half have stayed here.
Okay. I think I'm going to hang on. Let me roll recharge real quick because I don't know if my animated book came back and I forgot to roll.
Alright.
Oh, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna tap the animated book and have it like whack anything that come near and like scramble into the undergrowth.
Okay.
I'm covering Neville still. Do I need to roll for that?
Yes.
Tap roll.
We'll say that's a good intellect roll to control that.
That's a 9.
Oh my.
I don't get to add the escalation die, do it?
No.
Do that. Didn't think so. Yeah, that one. Wait, no, it didn't.
So what did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
That-
So that did still off.
Oh, your curse die is a 7 now. That's
So reset that to 5. As
oh no.
I'm sorry.
more of these critters start
It's
start
all
piling on to Nameless and Calaise. Calaise, who has turned around and just started kicking them off the waterfall.
I mean, that works.
Thea, when you tap the animated book, it starts flying around, whacking things, and then at one point it just like opens completely, and with an almost razor-like edge, slices the heads of those creatures emitting this energy in half. Which at first seems great until that energy just starts pouring out in all directions randomly.
Yes, Thea's ass is going down in the mud.
Neville sees this, and he's going to, I think what he's thinking of as he's crossing this, because he's a draconic scholar, and he's dealt with probably some types of dragons that breathe ice rather than fire. Is that a thing? So, he knows that fire magic would probably be a bad idea unless he's just doing like real quick bolts, but in order to actually control it, he has to focus a bit. So, I think what he's going to try to do, since he sees all this negative energy spinning around, he's going to do his best ice dragon impersonation and gather up that energy in his throat and just breathe, like lean into this ice thing and just breathe ice to freeze the stumps where where all that negative energy is spilling out.
Yep.
Oh, that's 2 digits on there. That is. So, can I add Draconic Scholar to that?
I'd say that's reasonable.
Okay, so that is
what
going.
What would I do if dragon?
Yeah, that's a 19.
Yep.
It was an 11 on the die.
Yep. So your curse die goes up by 1. And Neville starts freezing. He just lets loose this massive gust of cold energy. These creatures freeze in place, but you can still see that glow in their heads. And when their bodies fall over and shatter, it just boom blows up, and then another one, and another one, and another one. And you guys, the piece of island that you are on slowly begins to separate from the temple.
move.
Iocus, it is your turn, Iocus.
So is the piece I'm on falling, or the piece?
Yeah.
there?
So imagine if you've ever seen like a glacier falling, separating from the main body, or stone formations. Like it's clearly broken off the main piece, and it's starting to just slide off.
So what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and grab and toss the team members.
Mhm.
So our 3 members, I'm gonna try and run by and chunk them up onto the other side. So I'm trying to make it where I'm not using dex again.
Yeah, sounds like a good strength check.
So. Fuck me. I failed. That's a 4. So 11, 15 total.
We need rerolls on this.
I can't roll above 5 right now. I'm on.
Change your dice.
Yeah,
So-
I have been.
Oh shit.
So what happens is, Iocus, you grab Thea and Neville,
I do not consent.
just give like a quick spin, and then just fling them both up there.
These
I
guys-
got a chunk of gnome. It's a win.
You turn your back to the main part of the island, and cup your hands. Philomena is able to run up, put her foot in the stirrup, and you just fling her over your shoulder. And right before this piece of the island collapses, you're able to just turn around and body hug the underside of it. So you are hanging off the edge of something that is now 1/3 less structurally stable than it was a moment ago.
2 thumbs up. Oh shit!
Weren't you doing this about a week ago?
Yeah, right.
Involving a red dragon?
Philomena, you find yourself flung onto the main portion. You're right by the temple. Thea and Neville have probably landed on the temple. And Iocus is trying to pull himself up from the underside of this broken island.
Is there at least a vine or something that he can use? Or is there one that I can lay near him?
Yeah, you could probably find a way to manipulate one of the vines.
Because
That
I
would
know
be a
I
good
want to be
scout
able to
roll.
help you.
That'd be a good scout roll.
Yeah. I would like to find something to help Iocus pull himself up.
So, go ahead and give me. You said scout. Yeah. Make me one of them fancy rolls.
13 on the die, so 17.
Plus
Oh,
scout.
plus my
Scout.
scout. 20.
All right. So,
Move that curse die up.
yep. Move your curse die up.
Just one?
Yep, just one. So, you grab one of these vines, slice off one end of it, start tugging, and the vine just keeps going and going and going. And eventually, Iocus grabs onto it. And while he's grabbed onto it, you just take it and yank as hard as you can, and it snaps taut and knocks maybe like 20 or 30 zombies off the side. Iocus, you pull yourself up, and there is a clear path to the temple. Thea, damn it, now I'm doing it the other way. Thea and Neville have already made it inside.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. You have particularly good aim. Or bad aim, depends on how you look at it. As you two start, Philomena and Iocus start running towards the temple, the remaining undead are just hot on your heels. You have to, both of you, take some leaping bounds to get up there, and the undead are, for the most part, not able to follow you, but a couple of them still scrabble up behind you.
I'm going to be yelling the whole time saying, Thea, don't fire, don't fire, don't fire, don't fire.
Yeah. You two jump over the wall and into the temple, and you find Neville and Thea. The temple is completely unlit except for the sunlight that's filtering down, and it looks like one gigantic, big, open space.
Another dome.
At the center, there is a what looks like an easy chair, like a lounge chair, a very fancy one. There's a very large brazier and sort of a podium that's got a bookrest on it. Hunched over the book, and you're far enough away you can see, is a hag. She is not even attempting an illusion of any kind. And there's just this powerful vortex coming off of her. I think that's where we'll stop tonight. As you guys finally making it into the temple, hearing some of the undead coming up behind you, and seeing...
As I look back, though, as we're running in, how are Nameless and Calaise?
You can't see them. Where they were, there's just a river of undead.
Okay.
We didn't completely run out the escalation die, so I think that's a good sign. Not as great a sign.
Until you went into the temple, you could still feel whatever energy she was channeling.
Yeah. I wasn't saying that for suspense.
Well, I am. They're probably dead.
Yeah.
And you should go into the next episode feeling bad.
Oh, the joke's on you. The secret is, I always feel bad.
Good. As long as you feel bad about it.
Unless he's punching a pretty elf in the face.
Nah, he didn't feel bad about that. That was
I know, that's the point I was making.
that was kind of satisfying.
That was the point I was making.
So, you didn't die.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are trained so well. Yeah, well,
You
that's
trained us this way. This is
excellent.
your fault.
You say trained, but I think you mean traumatized.
Yes, it's true. It's true. We
Nonsense.
have learned healthy paranoia.
Losing your jacket is not a sense of trauma.
Weird swift.
I am no longer a vapor. That's trauma.
Now she wants
now
to be
you
a
get to
vibe.
be a vapor. Or
Well-
that you were a vapor.
Once it's taken away, she doesn't care what it's been called.
It's true.
So, that's for the second time all I've got. You guys have anything?
Yes, kick him in the dick.
Alright, we'll kick Iocus in the dick first thing.
Aha!
Just in time. Tune in next time for Iocus getting kicked in the dick.
Well, my dice are doing that, so yes. Pat, pat.
Yeah, you did it alright. More or less.
I mean, the little people were carrying your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Hey,
God.
You carried us. Now it's our turn to return the favor.
Thank you.
Alright, well, I don't have anything other than find us in the place, do the things, sponsor an F-bomb. The usual. So, other than that, thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all guys next time.
Bye.